anyways, that
Yeah,
part.
that's true. So we're here today in conversation with Joan Titus. Joan lives out at Donald, but she hasn't always lived here. And so, Joan, could you tell us a little about where you were born and how you came to be here in Donald, BC?
I was born in Vanderhoof. That's 60 miles west of Prince George. And I hate it up there. There's no mountains. And in 77 we moved to Creston. And then in 82 we moved up here to Donald. And that was one of the best moves we ever made.
Good for you.
Yeah. And when we first moved up here, we couldn't find a place to rent, so camped on the wait a bit for 6 weeks. 4 kids, so they had they had a blast.
Yeah.
And then we got a trailer from my mom's third husband. That was a druggy trailer, so weeks of cleaning before we could move in and put an addition on it. And then we moved over onto the property in 89, this property, because we got bored over in the trailer court, nothing to do.
So you moved over here. Did you bring the trailer with you when you moved over here?
Yeah, the trailer and addition. And we debated about a house, or redoing the trailer or the house. $5,000 difference between the house and the trailer, so we built the house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Demolished the trailer.
Yeah.
Denise took the addition and put it up on hers.
Oh, yeah.
So, with this house here, Jean and I drew up all the plans for it, built it ourselves, with the help of neighbors.
Yes.
Fantastic neighbors out here. That's well, we built the house in 91. And this was all treed, this property. It was all trees when we got it. No fences, no. So a lot of work went into it. Pretty proud of it.
Yeah, and rightfully so. Yeah. One of the things that you're famous for, and one of the reasons that we're doing this project, is that we're looking for people who have particular skill sets. And anybody that knows you knows about your gardens.
I love to garden. Every place, wherever we moved, I've always had a garden. I mean, I garden and, well, I didn't always have a greenhouse, but quite often I had the greenhouse too.
Yeah.
But I love to garden, just to see what I can grow up there. And Joanne is following in my footsteps. She's right into gardening. Of course, we got our animals, our cows and chickens. And I've always been a farm girl. I love animals.
In the background, I can hear ducks or geese or
Ducks.
ducks. Yeah.
Laying like mad right now.
I'll bet they are.
So I got Joanne to put it on classified or golden free classified or whatever
Yeah.
for the duck eggs, and I'm selling them like mad.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Well, in fact, Philip come by and got a dozen because I think his girlfriend's dad they got a pond and they wanted some ducks so they took eggs back to hatch.
Oh, yeah. I guess you need to know that in advance, don't you, whether or not they're going to be used for hatching. Because then you
Well,
can put it in the fridge, right?
Yeah, well, I keep them out in the meat house where it's cool, and I don't wash them. If anybody wants to eat them, they have to
Yeah.
wash them or whatever.
Well, I saw the prices and they were really reasonable, so at least they could do is wash them.
Well, it's either I sell them or I throw them away.
Yeah.
Because ducks will lay 50 to 60 eggs a year.
Yeah.
And I don't want that many little ducks. I got enough ducks.
Yeah.
And if somebody has fun hatching them, what the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. When I was here and talked with you before and you were talking about gardening, you were talking very passionately about why people should garden. What are the benefits of?
Well, you get fresh veggies and you know that there's no chemicals on them. There's just way too many chemicals nowadays used. Oh, if you raise all your own veggies, you're going to be a lot healthier and a lot more flavor.
Yes.
So.
I can totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm always encouraging people to garden, although I'm certainly not the gardener you are, but I think that what we eat plays such a big part in our health.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the reason I got into so many pickling cukes is I couldn't get any good ones here. I used to go to Creston every year and get pickling cukes, so then I started, well, I'm going to try it. Had success and people heard. And one picking last summer was 300 pounds. And that's every 3 to 4 days you've got to pick. And they go because you can't get a decent pickling cuke in town. But, I just like to garden. I hate doing housework.
Yeah.
I just soon be outside putting around.
But you start a lot of stuff well in advance.
Yes, yeah. Well, I don't know, did you look in the greenhouse?
No, I didn't, but we will on the way out.
Yeah. My tomato plants are like that. The ones I started the 1st of February, and then I start in the middle of March, and I just transplanted them. I sell quite a few tomato plants, pepper plants. I got to start my pumpkin plants and squash, and then I start my corn at the 1st of May inside, and then transplant it. All in, and then when I transplant, it's all into black plastic, so I don't have weeding.
Right.
Yeah.
Black plastic or carpet. All the peas are in carpet. So all you gotta do is weed down the pea. Just where the peas are planted, down the middle, there's no weeds.
Good idea.
Oh, yeah. Buster, no! You can stay outside. But no, and we keep expanding the garden. We look at this spot, that spot. Geez, this would be good for this. This would be...
And yet it's nice that you've got the room to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Joanne wants a big greenhouse. She says when I win the lotto, then she'll build a big greenhouse. 'Cause she's right into... Well, she does flowers. I do the veggies. She does flowers. See, she starts all the flowers for the schools.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
The school buys the seeds and the soil and all that, and she starts all the plants. And you know, well, last year she couldn't do it, but the year before, I don't know if you noticed the flowers around the...
No, I can't say I was paying attention, but I will from now on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like around the school bus, around the loop there.
Yep.
She has that all. The whole thing is flowers around the outside edge.
Oh, yeah. Well, I
At the
have
high
noticed
school.
that at the high school.
At the high school.
Yeah, yeah, I have noticed that at the high school.
Yeah, that's all her imagination. 'Cause when she started there, that center was all juniper, and it was just a mess. So
Yeah.
she tore it all out and put the grass in, and
Yeah, it looks great.
I'm pretty proud of her.
So, what is the best way to grow a tomato plant from seed?
Well, you get I plant mine in the middle of March for the outside. And I put them in 3-inch pots once I transplant. And then they go out around after the 1st of June in a red plastic, in the red mulch. Instead of black plastic, I use red mulch. It helps to. And of course with the good old cow poop and the chicken poop. And when I transplant with fertilizer water. And that's the only fertilizer, you know, they get outside of the compost, out of the... And last year I got beauties. Pound and a half, and no blemish.
Nice.
That's a new seed I got. Beautiful. Nice tasting too. A good taste. Is she having fun?
She's enjoying herself.
And what about pumpkins? Because this year I want to grow pumpkins, and what do I need to know about that little journey?
Same thing, just good dirt, compost. I start him, well, I'll be starting mine next week or so in the house. Transplant them out in June, in black plastic again. I just let them go. But last year I had no luck. I think it was too much humidity and the leaves were like that, about that high. And I don't think they get a little pumpkin, then they fall off.
Mm.
But generally I get 30 to 40 pumpkins a year off of 6 plants.
Wow. I bought some seed to grow some of those giant ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on to YouTube and I looked up how to grow a giant pumpkin. And they're actually doing the pollination by hand. They're breaking
Yeah, you
off the
can do
male
that.
flowers and
I have done that, yeah.
and they said to only, if you're trying for a big pumpkin, to only allow two pumpkins to form.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point you need to decide which one's going to be the better one. And
Then
so
you
that the
cut-
plant isn't drawing.
Yeah, and then you cut the rest of the stem off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to give it
Yeah.
a go.
Well, why not? So I plant it pretty quick.
Yeah.
I planted in about a 6-inch pot, and then I just take it out of the pot and put it into the ground. Like I say, with black plastic, because the plastic gives it heat
Right.
and keeps the weeds out.
Okay, good. Good tips.
Oh yeah.
And when I was here the last time, you gave me some cucumber seeds to try.
Cool
And
breeze.
yeah, I've always started my cucumbers in advance, but you said not to do that.
No, straight in the garden. Because they're only about 45, 50 days. And cucumbers don't like to be transplanted.
I didn't know that. Maybe that's why ours didn't work last year.
Yeah. No, they don't like to be transplanted.
Okay.
It sets them way back.
Good to know.
So I just plant them out first part of June. Sometimes they don't come up for 2 or 3 weeks. Then all of a sudden they pop up and away they go. And we're picking by the 1st of August.
Yeah.
So
Do you maintain the belief that the 24th of May is the weekend you should put everything in the ground?
somewhere around that, depending on the weather. Sometimes you can plant a little early. Last year we were past that.
Yes.
One of the old timers said if there's still snow on the willow bag, don't plant. Yeah, Ronnie Fuse told me that.
Yeah.
Well, some of those old timers would know these things from
That's right.
experience,
Many
right?
years. That's right.
Yeah. So,
Have you ever tried watermelon?
yeah, I got a couple last year about that big.
Okay.
I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
It's coming. But I grow a lot of peppers too. Joanne grows a lot of hot peppers. And I grow just the sweet.
Yeah.
I have really good luck with the peppers.
And I've had no luck growing peppers. None.
We have luck at our place if the birds or something, I'm not certain if it's birds, squirrels, or gophers, don't steal them. Because
Oh.
we've had that. Last year all our carrots, gophers stole or,
Oh, yeah.
or ruined, yeah.
Yeah.
When I was here the last time, you sent me home with jars of canning from your cold room downstairs, which is quite spectacular, I have to say, and the envy of an old school girl like me. What kinds of things do you can every year?
Oh, okay, we can beans, beets, pickled beets, dill pickles, gherkins, relish, hot sauces. What else is down there? Tomatoes. Oh, you name it. We can pretty well we hardly buy any canned stuff.
Yeah.
I recycle. I like to recycle. And then we take it in once a week. And sometimes there's not even a can in it. There might be lids for my jars, but there's no cans. I have this much space down there for the bought stuff, the bought cans.
Yeah.
And the rest is all, like Colleen says, it's awesome. And how did you like that Thai sauce?
I haven't opened it yet.
Oh,
I haven't opened it yet. That's going to have to be next.
Joanne makes a Thai sauce out of her hot peppers. I can't eat hot stuff, but her and Jacob do. I know it start the 1st of August and the peas get frozen, corn gets frozen, and pressure can. The other day I was canning red beans, kidney beans. I don't even buy them. I can't do them up myself. And my pressure cooker, my canner, there's a little valve on the top, and I knew it was getting loose, but I didn't have a new one to replace it. And the damn thing blew off, and I had all over.
No.
But there wasn't too much pressure because it was losing too much.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's a good thing.
Oh, yeah. But no, like I said, I even do my own red kidney beans for bean salad or soups or whatever. I just don't like to buy, because I do not know what's going into that food. They say that, you know, it's natural, it's no preservatives, but I don't believe it. It's just like we own our own beef. We do our own beef, our own pork, chickens.
Yeah.
I won't buy it out of the store. One time somebody brought one of those sealed packages of meat. A truck had overturned and they brought it by so if we could get some hamburger out of it for them. We opened that up and we had to evacuate the meat house. It stunk so bad. Now, what are they putting in it? What's...
Well, when you have a shelf life of, a month or so for, let's say, lunch meat, you just wonder.
Yeah, so what is that doing to your body? You're putting chemicals into your body that your body can't get rid of. See, a lot of those toxins your body can't get rid of. And I don't think a lot of people realize that.
No, I agree.
You're slowly getting poisoned. So it's all homegrown.
I know that last year you grew some pretty spectacular corn, which it's kind of uncommon in our area. Most people believe you can't grow corn, but you did. So how about telling us how that happened?
I've done that for 15 years. I plant it in 3-inch pots, 1st of May, get it up till about that high. Transplant it out in black plastic in June, and away it goes. Like I have holes in the black plastic, so. And it's not the early corn, but it's the super sweet.
So transplanting, or
starting it early.
Starting it early is the...
And then we get corn middle of August. Because once it's been making ears, and then for September it freezes, it won't hurt it. The tops can freeze off, and
Okay.
they'll keep maturing. The corn's so sweet that you can eat it raw. It's amazing to watch people that look at the corn, and I said, "Here, try a bite." Raw corn? I said, "Yeah, try it." Next thing you know, they got the whole ear gone. Gene loved corn. He'd eat it 5 times a day if you... When it was on, we ate it for lunch and we ate it for supper the whole time.
Yeah.
Because I love corn too. And he'd buy some out of the store. I'd take one bite and I'd say, "Here, you can have it." This isn't corn, it's flavorless, it's dry, yucky crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm planting more corn this year. I generally plant 10 flats, 10 flats, and that's 18 plots to flat. So a fair amount of corn.
So how far do you space the plants out?
About 2.5 feet. The black plastic's got their holes in it. When I put new black plastic, I fold it just right so I can cut the whole thing. But I'm trying a different plastic this year. I got a roll of that weed barrier, or the stuff they put in greenhouses that you can walk on and keeps the weeds out.
Right.
I'm going to try that because the black plastic now lasts 2 months in the garden and then it disintegrates.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try this other. It's supposed to be UV whatever, resistant.
Yep.
So I'm going to plant cucumbers in that and see how it, because the water will go through. And the weeds aren't supposed to come up. That's what I'm going to do with my strawberry patch. I'm going to put all my strawberries out. I'm going to put the black plastic, or that black whatever fabric down. And then build boxes. And then I'll be walking on the black fabric.
Mm.
Anyway, I'm going to try that and see what happens.
Yeah. And growing a good garden is about those experimentations, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Figuring out what will grow in one place that wouldn't grow in another place.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. It's like the one year, a couple of years ago, I moved my peas because you're supposed to rotate. And I moved the peas on this side of the garden and planted other stuff on the other side. And the peas didn't do worth a damn on this side. So they went back over there, and that's where they'll grow forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's...
What conditions do you need to grow a great tomato plant? Should it be full sun or part sun?
Full sun. They like lots of sun. And lots of water. And a bit of calcium. Calcium, if they're lacking calcium, you get blossom rot, end rot. You gotta bring your, neutralize your acid in your soil.
I've seen an article recently that said you should use Epsom salts when you're planting your tomatoes.
That's what I've read. I haven't tried it. Joanna's tried it on some of her plants and she says it works really good. I haven't tried it yet.
I might give that a go this year too.
Yeah, I just noticed they advertised that on one of the containers I bought. Never knew that before either.
I've heard about it for years, but I've never been around anybody who's actually used it, so I'm kind of leery of how much to use. And
Yeah, I am too.
But I'm gonna try it one of these years.
Yeah.
Just see what's
What's
what. Yeah.
When we first started talking about your moving into the valley, you were married to Gene.
Mm-hmm.
He's since passed away, only in this last year, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you had how many children together?
4.
4. And could you name them for us?
JR, Wayne, Phyllis, and Joanne.
And where are they all?
JR is out on the island. Phyllis is on Campbell River. Wayne is at Fruitvale, that's at a trail. And Joanne lives here with us.
So they're scattered all over the place.
They're scattered all over.
And grandchildren?
Wayne has got 2 boys, Mitch and Owen. JR's got 2 girls, Amanda and Rochelle, and Joanne has Jacob.
So 5.
5 grandkids.
Perfect. That's just a nice amount.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
And do you get to see them very often, the ones that live away?
Not very often, no.
Yeah.
Which
It's a
is
long
kinda
ways
sad.
away.
Yeah, it's kind of sad too.
Campbell River's like a long ways away.
Not really. It's about 12 hours,
Yeah.
14 hours.
This was a long trip out here for me today. So
Oh.
12 hours is really long.
You know, the 2 girls, they're growing, and one's in Ontario, one's at Vanderhoof. Shitty old Vanderhoof. I hate it. Somebody asked me, are you ever going to move back? And I said, not a hope in hell. Oh, I did grow good gardens up there.
The season as long as here?
About, yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Outside of the one year, middle of August, one day it was, I think it was 95 Fahrenheit. Next morning it was 20 Fahrenheit. So they'd below freezing, and there was that much snow. All you could see in the garden was my cabbages. Oh yeah. Cold. You know, had all the windows open the night before because it was hotter than heck. Next morning we froze. What the heck's going on?
Wow.
And one of those lows come in and
Yeah.
boom. But I've seen that in all. Like when Mount St. Helens blew, we were in Creston, we heard it. And the ash come in that night. 3 days, the street lights never went off. That's how much ash was coming in. And that was on the 20th of May, and the long weekend in July, it turned cold, and it snowed on the mountains down there, and the snow was gray. The ash, that had made the circle. They say, you know, like global warming and that, I put a lot of that down to the volcanoes. You notice how active they are lately?
Mm-hmm.
They're blowing and blowing and blowing. That's where I'm putting this weather change. Yes, the pollution is not helping, but volcano activity has got a lot
It's
to
up
do
there,
with it.
yeah.
Buster!
Yeah, and something we've been talking to people about too is, in the time that you've been here, have you noticed how much the weather has changed?
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, the year we had the exchange students, we got that much snow. Because we kept telling them, one from Jamaica and one from Thailand, you wait till winter hits, you know, all this snow. Well, they couldn't even hardly go skiing.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, it was the first year or second year we were up here. Halloween, it was minus 10, 15, and 2 feet of snow on the ground. You know, it just goes in cycles. And you can never
Yeah.
forecast, you can never say, you know, it's so much different, you know. They say, well, it's warmed up by a point of 1.1 degree or something, but look back east, what kind of a winter did they have this year?
Are still having by the looks of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And we had such an easy winter.
We had a very easy winter.
Yeah.
And I can remember one time when we were working down here at the scales, one of those storms blew in at 3 o'clock, we shut the scales down. I said, I gotta get home. By then there was a foot of snow on the ground. And I think by the end it was 2 feet of snow. You know, you can't predict or say, you know, it's the climate change and that. Because I don't really notice,
Yeah.
you know. And you have, like last year we had the late Easter and the snow didn't melt till the 1st of May.
Yeah.
This year we got an early Easter and the snow's pretty well gone. You know, it's...
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't agree with some of their global warming and one year up at Vanderhoof, Christmas Day it rained up there. And the year that Wayne was born, at Christmas it was raining. That night it had dropped down to 20 below Fahrenheit. And it stayed down 20, 30, 40 below Fahrenheit till New Year's. It warmed up for a couple of days. And then all of January, it was 40, 45 below Fahrenheit. You know? And then you turn around, the next year it'll be a mild winter.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a consistent thing for sure.
no.
Yeah, because we've had some really deep snow years here.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next year or 2 years or even 5 years, it'll be almost nothing.
Yeah.
You know, they talk about that El Nino
Yes.
and the Pineapple Express and things like that. And I think that's just, like you said, it's all part of cycles.
It's cycles. And like I say, I think lately, well, ever since Mount St. Helens blew, you know, there's been volcanoes erupting all over. You know, Iceland, down in South America, you know, and I think that has a lot to do with
Yeah,
the
and
weather.
all these little, the volcanoes are somehow tied into all the little earthquakes that are happening down the BC coast too, because there's like 300 of them a day or something happening.
Yeah.
They're just little ones, but
Yeah, the earth is cooling, so it's...
yeah.
Yeah. No, like I said, I think... Because when I was young, you know, I don't remember that many volcanoes going off. But after Mount St. Helens blew, there's been, you know, it's been a lot. And I think that ash up there has
Yes.
got something to do with it.
And I think also we have better access to information now.
Mm-hmm.
50 years ago, you wouldn't even have heard about Mount St. Helens until the paper came out in a week.
Yeah, now I'll always have chickens. Because I won't buy an egg out of the store.
Yeah. No, I think one of the things that I would really, really love to see happen in our area is for more folks like you who have the space, who garden on a bigger scale, so that, you know, people who don't have a place to garden have an opportunity to at least purchase good, nutritious food. And I would like to see some farmers farm some cows for meat again.
Yes.
Good.
You know,
Interior
because-
Health has got us on that.
Yeah, I know, but I also know that if it was correctly set up, Interior Health would also approve it. You know, it would
Oh,
take-
do you have to jump through the hoops? So
Yeah.
we finally told him, told him, stuff your papers where the sun don't shine and don't ever come on my property again.
yeah. But I think it can be done. I'm good at paperwork. I would definitely, you know,
Well, every time they come out and inspect it, they had something else. So we
Yeah.
do this, we do
Yeah.
that. Like in our meat house, we got plywood, and there was a crack in the center where the the wood didn't quite. We had to fill that because the blood would get in it. Now, how in the heck am I going to get blood on the ceiling when I'm just cutting up?
Yeah.
And we got our big deep freeze. One of our big deep freezes is in the meat house. They wanted us to move that out and move the sink. I mean, the sink is 3 steps from the door to the meat house to the sink. They wanted us to move the sink into the meat house. And I said, do you realize in 6 months there'd be so much mold in that? I said, I'd have to burn the damn building down. Oh, well. I said, then take it and stuff it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
what a shame. You know.
our meat house is spotless.
Yeah.
And we do all our cutting in the meat house, and we carry everything, like I say, 3 steps out. The sink is out in the open,
Yeah.
fresh air and that. I mean, how can you beat that?
yeah.
You know, but oh no. Do you know that I am not allowed to come to your place and show you how to butcher a chicken?
No, I know. You need a special license for that.
I mean, what's that? A friend helping a friend.
Yeah.
And
That's
I'm
how we
not,
used to
I'm not
do it.
supposed to. Because I've
Yeah.
had the experience. Well, how is somebody new going to get the experience if they don't
Learn from an elder.
That's right.
to learn from somebody who's done it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did that with Johnny Mosquito down here. That's not his. You know Johnny, don't you?
I don't know. I don't know him by Johnny Mosquito for sure.
Oh, he's a character. He just lives down here in the White House. And he had some chickens, and they went on the internet and they got some, information. And so I said, well, I'll come down and show you how to do it. Him and do you know Cindy White or
Yes.
Cindy Snow?
Cindy Snow.
Yeah. And anyway, they were all there, so I did the first couple chickens, showed them how to do it, and they videoed it, and now they go at it.
Yeah.
And they know how to do it properly without cutting the guts, and like I told them, the main thing is don't cut the gut,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because that's where you get your contamination.
Mm-hmm.
It's like over in Alberta with that packing plant they had to shut down. Automatic gutter goes down and cuts the skin on the stomach, cuts the gut. They spray sanitizer on it. Instead of cutting that piece of meat out with the gut on it, they put sanitizer on it. That's where they get the disease. I mean, if I cut a gut, that piece of meat is cut and thrown away, but they won't throw an ounce of meat away.
Instead, they put chemicals on it.
Yeah.
Because that's better.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
And you can't, like when you butcher a beef, you can wash the inside out with water. But you don't put water on the outside because it just goes in there and it just makes like a gel. It's,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of things people don't know
Don't.
about and aren't aware of. And I think that the problem is just that the people that do know, for whatever reason, cannot legally show someone else how to do something.
how to do it, yeah.
And then, yes, I know a million things are up on YouTube that you can research, but
Yeah, but,
then it's still like, am I learning the best way
yeah,
to do it?
Yeah.
You're just
no,
watching
it's,
someone else.
Well, and it's important to learn from people in your area. For instance, corn's not going to grow everywhere. So if we've got somebody in our community that's learned how to make corn grow here,
Yeah.
and be successful, then that's the person we need to be talking to.
That's right.
Yeah.
Not somebody on YouTube that's grown it in Arkansas.
Yes, that's right.
Right? Because their growing seasons are different and
Oh, yeah.
everything is different. So
And see, when we moved here in '82, we were told that you couldn't grow a garden in Donald. So I had to grow a garden, you know, just to prove that you could grow a garden on a little trailer lot.
yeah.
It was just a little garden, but we had fresh veggies, lettuce and onions and radish and peas. And back then I had to buy canned stuff, which ticked me off, but because I've canned all my life. I started with my mom, you know, that there shows, you know, Mom taught me, I've taught Joanne, and you know, it's, because I know a lot of people are scared of pressure canners. And you know, they've heard horror stories. But if you learn from somebody who knows how to do it, then you can do it. And that's the only time I've ever had one blow, and I knew I should have never started. I should have got a new valve. You know, it's my own stupidity.
Do you use the rocker kind or do you have a gauge?
Rocker.
My old one had a rocker, and I always thought maybe I would like to have a gauge. Do you? You've got a beautiful old wood stove sitting here. Do you can on the wood stove or do you can on the electric stove?
On the electric. That's why it's got those kind of burners instead of a flat top.
Mm-hmm.
You can't can on a flat top.
No, it'll break the flat top.
Yeah.
He gets too hot.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Not
So-
pressure can anyway. Yeah.
Well, any of the canning.
Any of the canners actually. Because
Yeah, when
they-
your hot
they-
bath.
Yeah,
Those big, they don't
because they
work.
cover so much of the top of the stove that it just gets so hot. Like it concentrates the heat down, so you shouldn't ever do it on one of the glass tops for sure.
Yeah. From my mom,
Yeah.
and you know, from different people, and
Yeah.
I don't know if Joanne will continue on, but she's learning.
Yeah.
It's just like when you buy a box of jars, I throw all those away.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way they put the lids on.
Yeah, they put the lid on and screw the top on and put them in the box, and they already have a ring around
Yeah,
the
it's
seal.
already
Yeah.
Oh, for
Squished
goodness
down.
sakes.
So for jams,
Alrighty.
for jams,
Yeah.
you know, you can boil them up enough to work good for jams. But if you're going to pressure, especially pressure, but if you even hot water bath can them, they're not very
I
good.
no, yeah. And really, you catch those lids on sale, they're not that bad
No,
anyway.
they're not. They're not.
I buy them by the case when they have them on sale on 10% Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way to do it, right? One of the ways to use 10% Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. No, like I say, I learned a lot from my mom and a lot from different people and experimental and
Yeah. And you're always happy to help someone to learn a skill like that, aren't you?
anybody. Anybody wants gardening tips, canning tips, whatever. I love helping people,
Yeah.
especially if they get back to nature.
Mhm.
You know. You take like my food bill, I might spend $200 a month. And a lot of that's toilet paper and
Yeah.
Laundry soap.
laundry soap and bleach and,
Yeah.
I've got a great recipe for laundry soap that I use.
oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm. I should bring it to you sometime.
What is it?
It's borax,
Mm-hmm.
washing soda, and what's that other soap? I bought it in the States because I couldn't find it in Canada anymore, but you can use just regular bars of soap too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the three of them, 3 ingredients.
Oh, really?
And it costs about 5 cents a load.
I'll have to look into that.
It's really cheap.
And does it get your jeans clean without putting shout on them?
Kathy and I did an experiment when I was first making the laundry soap. I said to her, you know, that I wanted to give it a really good, honest try. And she said, well, then let's do one of those things they do on TV, you know, where they put the mud on the shirt and then they put the mustard on and they put,
Yeah.
So she stained up the shirt and then she cut it in half. And she washed half of it in Tide, which is, you know, a high quality
Yeah.
soap,
Supposed
but
to be,
also
yeah.
expensive. And then half in our detergent. And there was only one thing on there that it didn't take out as good as the Tide. I don't even remember what it was anymore. Maybe the mustard.
Mustard, I was
Mustard,
thinking
yeah.
probably mustard. It's a tough
bugger.
one, yeah.
But she took that, once it was dry, she took that and we just put the raw soap onto it, give it a scrub, put it back in the laundry, and it came out in the second wash. So
Wow. Because
it
like,
works good.
you know, when you're working out here, your jeans get dirty.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have to shout them
Yeah.
to get them clean.
Well, I found when I was using it, especially with the kids, I always, before the grass stains went into the washing machine, I always put some onto it and give it a scrub. I got a little white brush by the washer, and I just give it a scrub and then put it in there like it is, and put the regular amount of soap in, and it works to the band.
See, ever since they take out the phosphate out of the laundry soap,
Yeah.
it does not wash. I mean, we used OxyClean, Borax, and Arm & Hammer
Yeah.
soap.
Yeah.
And you still gotta,
Yeah.
and in hot water, you can't use cool.
No. No,
It
it
would-
costs you about, I'm gonna guess and say it probably costs you under $5 to make it. And you make it in a 5-gallon pail, and it gets thick, like Jello thick.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, overnight. And then in the morning you give it a good stir, and then you can divide it up. So that's the concentrate. And then you put it in, you can put it, I use gallon milk jugs.
Mm-hmm.
You fill it half full of the soap and half full of water. And so you have to shake it before every time you
Yeah.
dump it into the washing machine, because it starts to congeal again. So you give it a shake and pour it in. And I use a cup measure. I use a cup and dump it in. So
Really?
So your 5 gallons is actually making 10
10
gallons
gallons.
Yeah.
of soap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm very interested in that recipe.
I'll get you the recipe.
Yeah, because I will try it.
Yeah,
Because-
it's simple. It's simple. I could probably remember it off my head. I haven't made any in 6 months.
So the bait, you say
Yeah.
washing soda.
Yeah. You know what? And that's hard to find now.
I was gonna
Although
say-
I do know down at the Briscoe store they still have washing soda. So, but
Yeah.
I've got some. I might even have everything you need to give it a go. Yeah, you can buy the bars of laundry soap rated over weighty.
And you grate
And
that
you
up?
yeah, you grate it up over a pot with hot water in it.
Uh-huh.
You grate it into there and you stir it till it's dissolved. And then you dump that into the pot. And I can't remember which one's which. One's 1.5 cups. I think it's the washing soda that's 2 cups, and the borax is 1.5 cups. And you just stir it in there and keep stirring it while you fill it up to the top. Put it away for 24 hours, and then
Then, wow.
yeah.
And does it make nice suds?
It doesn't make great, it doesn't make super suds, but it's definitely better than some of those low suds ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
suspect you could probably use it in those new fancy front load washing machines even. You know, the ones that,
Yeah.
They want that HE.
yeah, I think you
Detergent,
might be
yeah.
able to. I haven't tried it because I only have a top loader,
Yeah.
but
Did you know borax and icing sugar kills ants?
yes,
Looks
mixed
like a
together.
charm.
We used it at the museum a couple of years ago because we tried all those little ant traps and everything.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't work at all.
No,
So-
icing sugar and borax.
Yeah. Yeah. They come out for the icing sugar, but the bonus is they get the borax and die.
Yeah. All these little things that you learn over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joan, what would you say is your favorite thing about living here in the valley?
The mountains. The mountains. The scenery. I mean, God's country. It just, and out here at Donald, I just like the neighborhood, the whole neighborhood. It's just quiet and, you know, well, look at our scenery. Every window you look out. It's beautiful.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate you doing this with us. And if you've got a few minutes, we'd love to have a look around at your garden spaces and your greenhouse and whatever
Well,
you'd like to
definitely.
show us.
Definitely. You can look at everything.
Awesome.
We'll
Thank
start
you.
out with the cold room.